Hi everyone, welcome back to the Western Centurion channel and update number 5, and hopefully, as you can see from here, we'll be looking at the Western Centurion track plan. I expect those of you who've used this piece of software will recognise it. It's SCARM, S-C-A-R-M. I hope I got that right. I've been playing about with this for the last couple of weeks, only about 2 hours a week though, so it's about 4 hours it's taken me to come up with this. Basically it's just been learning how to use it. I've got the grips with it now and quite enjoying it. But this is really my first attempt. It's not quite how it's going to be. Well, at least this section up here isn't. This here is though. I'll concentrate on this in a minute. But if we go up to here, because where these platforms are here, is going to be in that area. That will be the main station. I've got 2 platforms and I've got 4 tracks going through it, but that is certainly going to change, I think, because I want to try and base this on Swindon Station. But I've got to find some more details on that. But as I say, this is just my prototype where I was learning how to put the track down, how to adjust it. But on the top here, as you can see, I've got 2 tracks going along there. If we keep going along further and further, you'll see we've got a tunnel mouth here, and it gets to the wall. Now, why am I going to the wall? Well, I'm planning ahead here, or shall we say proactive, for the future. Because down here, if I take you here, that's where the track ends in the wall. And that will be where the layout will continue into the garden. That's obviously a future project in maybe 4 years' time. But I do actually plan on doing a garden layout in the future. So I will make a hole in the wall there, and the bridge, well, not the bridge, sorry, the tunnel will start about where that cable is here, about there, and go through there, through the wall, and the other side of the wall, lucky enough, is where the fence starts in the garden, so I can put the garden baseboard attached to the fence. There'll be twin track going out, but when it's actually in the garden, I will spur it off. So you've got a circular layout, I suppose, actually going around the garden itself, and I might put some sidings up on the patio. But yeah, as I say, that's a later project and not on my mind at the moment. So we come back down. We'll go back to the plans again. Here I've got the turntable, which is fabulous actually. I'll tell you a good little tip for this. If I come around here, if I get this down, well, I should have prepared this really, but that was my dad's old turntable. A couple of weeks ago, bought some pizzas from a local supermarket. I believe this is an 8-inch, and I think that's a 12-inch. Let's have a, hang on, I've got them on the bottom. Sorry, that's a 10-inch, and that's a 12-inch. These are what the bases were for the pizzas. And it looks like this turntable fits perfectly on the 10-inch. So when I come to designing the layout actually on the baseboard, I'll use this as a template for the turnout. Sorry, not the turnout, for the turntable. And I gather you can get a 12-inch turntable. I'm not sure, I haven't looked. But yeah, just a quick, simple little tip there. Don't throw it away. Use it as a template. Okay? And what else we got on here? I've got the goods shed up in the bottom top corner, which will be in there. What else we got? Yes, this is a goods shed. Well, it might be a goods shed going there, or I might use it for loading cattle or livestock. If I can get down closer, come off that point, you can see that. To fiddle yard, which is here. Okay, so do you remember the fiddle yard from one of my previous, well, a couple of my previous videos? Well, I've got it started now. I've got some track down, which is fixed in place with a three-way point, or I've got two sets of three-way points here. They're both fixed down. And I marked up some lines here. So you've got 1 line, 2, 3. They go right to the end, and that's just so I can keep the track nice and straight. As you can see down here, they're pretty similar. And obviously here, where it comes off the turnouts, I've had to take the sleepers out just to stop them interfering with the middle. But as it's just a fiddle yard, it's not a problem. I've got some track over here, which I'll be fitting down. I've got I think this is a second radius curve there, a short straight, and then a third radius curve. They're from a Hornby box set that I got. I'm only using those at the moment just to give an example of what it will be like, and how the curves need to go in. And this will come down to here. So it's not exactly the same. As I said, this is only my prototype at the moment, or my first attempt at doing the layout or the track plans on SCARM, and it will change again. This is going to change, as I say, because I want to go build it very similar to the way it is in Swindon. See, that's where I'm living at the moment. There's one thing I've got to say about the fiddle yard though. Thank you to BR Blues. I think it's in my update 3. He left a comment on there was about putting legs on, which I have to admit I hadn't really thought about using legs, because it was originally going to be going, I wanted to swing down underneath the baseboard, so that when I had everything loaded on there, I could swing it down, and then it would connect up to a bit more fiddle yard underneath the baseboard, and then go all the way along, and then come up onto the proper baseboard at the top, around about here, underneath all this polystyrene. But I need all that space under there, and I couldn't really afford to lose it all. So what I've decided to do was hinge it to the main baseboard. I've added this block of wood here with a couple of locks on, so that all I've got to do is lift the legs up, they'll slot into here and lock into position out the way. But yeah, so thank you to BR Blue for giving me that idea. It's worked well. I'm not sure if I'm going to need a third leg in the middle yet. I'll live with it as it is, and if at a later date it starts to sag in the middle, then yes, I'll have to put a third leg in. But at the moment it's not too bad, so I'm happy with that. Back to the plans. This section down here. Now this is something that I'm really, well, yeah, excited about. I was born in a place called Wootton Bassett, which is just a few miles away from here, or I suppose it's called Royal Wootton Bassett now. And I was born about a 2-minute walk away from the railway station there, or Wootton Bassett Junction as it was called at the time. And what I've decided to do is try and replicate that on this layout. So whereas this is the east side, which will be along here, that will be the north, and that will be the west along there, and then of course that's the south at the bottom. So yes, Wootton Bassett Station is going to be on the west side. So if I pick this up, I'll take it round, so I'll put it here. Alright, so this is where I want to put the station, on this section. So I suppose really it's going to be this way around. There we are. So I've got some track going off here into the corner, which will be over into that corner, and that was called Express Dairies at the time, or soon to become Unigate Dairies, and then St Ivel, which was the, I suppose, the main employer of Wootton Bassett back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, and where I spent 10 years of my working life in my late teens, early 20s. So I want to replicate that as well, because they did actually have some track going off for loading and offloading of milk. Then back here there's actually a bridge which is called Marlborough Road, and in all theory I was born in a house round about here somewhere. So we have the station, we had a station building both sides, there was a footbridge across here, and looking at some photographs there was actually a little siding on the end. There was a goods shed. I remember that well. That's where I used to go when I was, I don't know, 9-10 years old, right up to I suppose the age of 14, to get to watch the trains go by. But by then the station had gone. It was just a goods shed and a little platform next to it. There were two signal houses. I've got them there. You see that? One was east. One was called the east signal box, and I think the other was actually called the west signal box. So it depended which way the locos were coming from. So I gather that would have been the west, because that would have controlled the lines coming here, which was from Wales. This was the east, which would have controlled all the locos coming in, or anything coming in from London direction. So yeah, west would have been, this was Wales and Bristol. So that controlled all the points along here, and east would have controlled all these points here. It's not quite exact to the way it was, but I've been in touch with the what they call the Swindon and Wiltshire Historic Centre, which is based in Chippenham. Oddly enough, is actually where I work, and they actually have the track plans for Wootton Bassett Junction. So I'm going to make a visit there and take some photographs of the track plans. But the other thing they actually have are the plans for the station. So I'll get some photographs of those at the same time and see if I can actually, I don't know if I can actually scratch build the station, but if I can convert maybe a Metcalfe station to suit it. But that's the biggest plan for me at the moment. I'm really excited about doing this. If I can get it as close to the way Wootton Bassett Station was like, I'll be really happy. And to give you an idea, if I move this out of the way, that was Wootton Bassett Junction with a steam loco coming through. I think that was a King class. It was mentioned that it was obviously on its way out because you've got a lot of steam coming out of here. which you wouldn't ordinarily see. That was from Wales, by the way. Another loco, wooden basket. This is earlier though. You can see the signals all on the left. And I think, you can just see, that'll be the east signal box, and more signals back there. There were also a bit of shunting went on at Wooden Basset Station. You used to get coal coming in from Wales, and it'll be dropped off in Wooden Basset Junction, and it'll be shunted around, ready to be collected for the to be taken to London. And I suppose Didcot as well at the same time, because they had their power stations there. That was a good shed, which I used to go and sit on that platform along here. The crane wasn't there at the time. The colour picture, same again. You can this there is the east signal box. You can see the footbridge across there and the station. Buildings on both sides. So yes, this is what I want to build. And obviously you can see that loco's pulling coal. And it was along here as well where they would get things prepared to go into United Dairies for the milk runs. Photograph of the signal box. This is the east signal box, I believe. Yes, this is something else actually. So this is where I want to build it for Wooden Basset Station, and I might have to extend it out another foot here. I'm not sure yet. I'll deal with that when I come to it. But this is box tunnel, which will go over there on the end. Alright, for us here it's a very famous tunnel built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. That's the entrance to it, very grand, and it is big. It is not quite 2 miles long, I think it is 1.8 miles in length. And when it started, it was started in December 1839. I think they started building it. There's 2 companies were involved. I can't remember the names of them. Was it they sank? I think they sank 6. If I bring this back, here we are. If you can see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are 6 sinkholes from the top to the bottom to where they were going to build the tunnel. And at the time of building, this was, in these sections, the only access and exit. About 25 feet diameter. So they dug that all the way down, and the navvies at the time who were building the tunnel, that's how they went down and they came back up. This was the tunnel itself, which they completed in 1941. I think the tunnel was actually declared open in June 1841. Sorry, not 1841. So it didn't take them long at all to build it, really. 100 navvies or 100 people died in the process of making it, which is a real shame. But still, it was a feat of engineering to get through that. Obviously, lots of obstacles to overcome whilst doing it, but it was fabulous. Hence why I'd like to replicate it on this layout as well. There is a little bit of a story. This is the east side of the tunnel. I think I've got a... There it is again. That's the east side. I haven't got the west side. It's nowhere near as glamorous. It's just Bath stone, really. Whereas this is very intricate and a lot of detail. But yes, yeah. One of the tales behind it is when Brunel designed it. It was designed from should we say, west to east. Oh, was it that way? But anyway, it was designed so the fact that when you stand at the mouth of the tunnel on his birthday, which is in July, you can see the sun rising from the other end of the tunnel, nearly 2 miles away. Whether that's true or not, it's debatable, but some people have said they've proved it. I haven't seen it, but if you want to look on the internet, I'm sure you'll be able to find discussions about it anyway. But yeah, very impressive tunnel. The right next to this tunnel, going on to other subjects, there's stuff about the underground city, Monkton Farley, which was built for the Second World War. There's other tales as well that in this tunnel there was a platform inside which was for royalty and members of parliament, particularly if there's a nuclear war after the Second World War in the 40s and 50s. In a nuclear war, this is where they'd go to. The train would stop in the tunnel, they'd get off, and they'll be safe in their underground city, really. Electric trains in there, cars, electric cars, cinemas, hairdressers, everything. Look it up, Google it, and see what you think. It is pretty amazing what's right next to this tunnel. Okay, and as I said, that's what will be over here along this section. This will be another update of mine. I know this is my first 00 gauge layout that I'm making, but this was my very first layout ever in N gauge. Just about everything on here is from my dad. I made this on a piece of 4 foot by 2 foot MDF. And the reason I made it this size is just so that I could put it in the back of the car, take it up for my dad, put it on his dining room table, and he could play with it. But unfortunately, one of the things with Alzheimer's is the fact that the attention span's not very big, so he'd play with it for about 10 minutes and then that'll be it. He'd walk off and forget it was even there sometimes. So it's now taking up residence in the garage at the moment. But I'll do another subject on this, okay? I'll probably make another video on the layouts. Alright. So yeah, that's pretty much it today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and when I next come back, or for the next update, I'm hoping all the track will be down on the fiddle yard, and if I've got any track left over, I might actually lay a little bit down, not fix it down though, and might do a little back and forth running session with some locos, but that's if I actually get the time, which is very precious at the moment. So about 2 hours a week I'm getting at the moment to be able to do this. So we will see. Sorry about that. For some reason the video recorder just my camera just stopped recording then. But anyway, I'll say my goodbyes. I leave you a picture of Box Tunnel again. Go and have a look. Search for it on the internet. It's fabulous. It really is lovely. I'm sure there's more pictures about it. And I'll see you again on the next update number 6. So until then, you take care and have a fabulous week. So bye bye.